Welcome to Prime Testimony Channel. My name is Ato Brentishen. We are born into this world to come and fulfill our destinies. Some come early, some follow. But those who follow have the opportunity to learn from the experiences of those who came early. Because of that, we gather so many life lessons. Today, we are going to look at certain life lessons that are valuable. I will learn from it. You also learn from it. With me to do this discussion is my friend Emmanuel Nyankotete, a child development ambassador based in Accra. Ima, you are welcome.
Thank you, Atu.
It's been a long time. You are hard to get. We thank God that we are able to arrest you for us to have this beautiful discussion.
Sure.
Yes, Ima, there are so many life lessons that we can talk about. At least you've been around for some time. You've been a student, you've been working, you've been doing ministry at church, and so many things. And besides that, you've traveled across the length and breadth of Ghana and maybe to some other countries. What are some of the life lessons do you have to share with us?
Akatu, as we always often call you, thank you for this great opportunity. And if you ask me, and I just want to summarize this in few sentences or words, I will say that everything comes down to relationship. Life lessons and everything, if you ask me to define it and say something about it, my first experience, what I've seen about life is about relationship. If you're able to get the nitty-gritties of relationship well, in all spheres, you are a winner, you are going to be far. You yourself will bear with me. We started back in Takoradi.
Yeah.
And it is a relationship that brought us together.
Yeah.
And through that relationship, so many things happened. But personally, because I cherish relationship, I quite remember one incident that happened somewhere along our path of work. What I considered, which made it possible for us to overcome that challenge, was the respect that I have for relationship. I should have taken other decisions which would have been detrimental to me now or any other thing. But I considered you, because everybody around that space at the time knew that I have a working relationship or some relationship before coming to that space. And I strongly believe then that if I should do anything, I might have gone with it, but you are still going to be there. And people will always point finger and say that, oh, the man I took brought was a bad person. So I stomach everything. I borne every pain of it. And today, we share those things and laugh over it. So baseline about life experiences that I would want to share with anybody, and I believe that as we continue to unfold them or go into a little more detail, is baseline or hashtag relationship.
All right, thank you very much, Iman. Yes. I also agree with you. And friends, you agree with him that relationship is very important. Being it at work, being it in marriage, being it in courtship, even your relationship between you, your teacher, your lecturer is very, very important. Thank you very much, Iman. Okay, so Iman, besides relationship, what other life lesson can you also talk about?
Good. So, for us as Christians, so that we situate it also well, let's add some biblical aspect of this relationship. Because we'll come back to also add psychological and other developmental aspects. But the baseline, the first thing we have to do is about the biblical aspect.
Yeah.
And you will agree with me that in the Bible, when the Pharisees went to Jesus Christ to ask him, to test him, as the Bible tells us, and they asked him what is the greatest, which part of the commandment is the greatest? The answer was that, what? Love your God, your Father with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. If you love somebody and you are in a relationship with the person and you understand what relationship is, I don't think that you hurt that person. You will definitely not hurt that person. And he summarized it that way. And if other people, theologians, will tell you that when you look at the Ten Commandments critically, again you can break it down into these two parts. Relationship with God, thou shalt not do this, that, and again all the other ones too is about what when you do against your neighbor, that will hurt the person and so on and so forth. So that is the one thing. So back to your question, other lessons is about how we manage ourselves, emotional development, otherwise also known as self-regulation. In fact, we are born with our emotions, but we are trained as to how we express them. And when we don't get the training of it well, then there's a big issue. In fact, in our part of the world, we cherish academic, which is so important, and we all love it. But we do forget one thing. Over the few years, what I have also come to realize is that, and the experts are telling us that emotional and academic development, they all take place at the same time. But we pay more attention to the academic aspect in detrimental to that of the emotional development, and that impedes the academic work as well. So we need to pay attention to that as well, so that when we are able to do that one and balance it well, then we are going to go places. So if you ask me, self-regulation, people will curse you. Steve Covey put it right. One of his best-selling books, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. One of the first habits that he talks about, he says that you must be proactive and not reactive. People will do things against you, but in between when people have offended you and your reaction or something is going on that you don't like in your social environment or whatever that it is, you have a space to take a decision, pause, and act differently, not to fulfill what the person wants you to. Somebody will be causing you to make you unhappy and make you angry, and out of your anger, do something that people will blame you. But why didn't you do this? So if you know that and you are able to pause and think through and not react to the person's invitation into the gutter or whatever that situation you overcome, he again added what he called circle of concern and circle of what? Influence. And that is one of the things that I have learned and I have personally applied it, and it's helping me. People will be doing so many things that you may not like, but you can't change that person. But it is what concerns you that you can change. So that is a circle of influence. You influence yourself. You take that decision. You become proactive and not reactive. It is about that. And baseline to that talks about self-management, or developmentally or psychologically, we say self-regulation. Your emotions will come. You have the right to be angry, to be upset, to not like what somebody is doing, the way somebody looks, but how you express it, how you do it, how you say whatever somebody has done wrong to you matters. And of late, that is what I've been discussing with my children. Yes, somebody will offend you. You have the right to say it, but how you express it. And again, we are saying that we should use what we call the I message. That has also been very helpful. I message. As you. If I have offended you, I don't come, or you have offended me, I don't come attacking you. But I tell you what your behavior make me feel. So I told this, that you did. I feel this and this and this and that. In that case, you will also pause. I will not want to also go and defend yourself. But oftentimes we don't listen, we don't tell people how we feel, and we go put judgment on the person. You are inviting the person to self-defense. The person will defend himself, then it leads to argument, and so on and so forth. All right.
If you just joined us, you are listening to Brian Testimony Channel. We are discussing life lessons, and my host is Emmanuel Nyakon Tete. All right, thank you very much, Brother Ima. I'm enjoying the conversation. Let's go on with other aspects of life lessons.
Very well. So like I said, if we are able to pinpoint on some of these things, then we can get it. Another thing that perhaps I have to say here is our ability to put our eye on the goal setting, planning, and keeping to it. In fact, our temperament is the key thing that helps us to do that. Temperament simply, to explain, means that your reaction to your immediate environment, be it physical or social environment, and we all react to them differently. People have used different technology to explain this and other things. Psychologists have their way. Perhaps another time we'll go into deep talking about that. But the question is, there are some people who do not give up easily. And oftentimes, what I have learned in life is that with some work that some people did, and they actually gave the alphabet some letters to spell certain words, experience, achievement, encouragement, attitude, and what have you. When you number the letters like A, B, C, D up to 26, you know we have 26 letters, and you give them these values, and you spell these words, and you add their values up. People were using that one to calculate it to 100. Fortunately or unfortunately, when you pick that of attitude, when you add attitude, it adds up to 100. So they will tell you that attitude is 100%.
Okay.
Hard work and all those things will never give you 100, so that they concluded that, oh, attitude is everything. And for that matter, when people are that nature of themselves, their temperament is to continue pursuing something because it is from within them that is the way to go. And people are not understanding them so that they can express themselves and give them that support, then they label them, labeling. Oh, he has a bad attitude. Okay. And for that matter, if the person is even coming out with something good, they will not listen to the person. Meanwhile, we knew that people who have persistently pursued certain goals and never gave up, although they failed many times, are the very people who brought about other development and achievement. Meanwhile, we are not ready to accommodate those people. But when we listen to them, and we hear them, and we don't label them, and we got to know what they are doing, we will not use attitude alone to be the benchmark. And people who, for some reason that you might have not known, why the person was so consistent on that and pursuing it to say that, oh, he has a bad attitude. I have been hearing people labeling people and destroying them because they didn't understand them. The person was so convinced from within that this is the way to go. Another person did not have that vision. They don't know why the person was so convinced that I should continue pursuing this thing. I can tell you that me, I wouldn't have been sitting here today having this conversation with you if I do not have that strong will. People will now even in children, they say, oh, he is stubborn, he is that. But we are saying in developmental circles that the person is a strong will. It means that he's so convinced that that must be what must be here. And for that matter, to me, if you think otherwise, then convince me with a stronger argument. But people will not even want to listen to you and know why you are saying that. Then they label you. And when they tell other people in this part of our world, that openness, that frankness, to even find out from the other person, to know the side of that person's story will never be done. Then they conclude. They blackmail you, they destroy you, and you are not there to answer for yourself, to explain it. And that is one of the biggest mistakes we are making, destroying people, killing their vision, killing what they have within them. That would have saved and brought about that big change. So labeling, especially using that calculation in spelling of attitude. I say attitude is 100%, attitude is everything, attitude. I'm not saying that bad attitudes must be entertained. But when we are able to listen to the person, and the person knew that we have interest in him, and we are pointing out to some of the things that the person is not doing right. And again, we are using the I message principle or method. And we are explaining to the person to know how we are feeling about whatever that he is or she is doing and we don't like. And he has that trust in us to also come out. We will get somewhere. But that is out of our right system.
Initially, we thought this video will be only one video, but from the way the discussion is going, I see that in the near future, we may have to come with even part 2, part 3, maybe to other parts. But before we go, what life lesson have you learned so far as health is concerned?
Your health is everything. It's in our hands. And I have now come to that realization and the saying that what you eat is what makes you your health better or not.
I like that word. Repeat what you just
you
said.
eat. So I have actually come into contact with a group of people. They call themselves food pharmacy.
What? Food pharmacy?
Food pharmacy.
Oh, that's very lovely.
Yes,
Interesting.
and
Yeah.
they have introduced me to some kind of lifestyle, how you cook. So these days in this house, I am not trying to bring on board all the family members. They are resistant, but I believe very soon they will get there. I personally cook my food for the office, and I don't cook with oil.
Okay.
And I have reduced the salt intake and all those things because the food pharmacy people came here, did a presentation, and I bought into the idea. They are telling us that the very things that we cook, how we cook them, destroy the nutrients and all those things. So we are just taking in poison. Even the utensils that we use also kind of contribute to that.
Okay.
So I bought some few from them. I won't market for them, so I won't mention it.
Okay.
They know if they are hearing it. But I'm now trying that one. And for about 2 months now, I have seen a change. I'm very light. And people are now seeing it and they're asking me, some people, are you sick? Are you dead? I said, no, I'm in the program. And for me, that is a good sign that whatever I set myself to do is achieving the result. So we must be very, 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 very conscious of what we eat, how we prepare the food that we eat. Because health is everything. They say that when you are healthy, you are wealthy. Because if you die today, all your brilliant ideas and everything, where are you going to pursue them? So health is so important to me, and I have put it on my number one items that I consider. Alright, yes.
All too soon, the first part of this discussion is ending, and like I promised you, definitely we'll come back to this. My name is Axel Rentishan, and the nice gentleman that I introduced earlier, in case you've forgotten his name, is Emmanuel Nyakotete, a child development ambassador who is based in Accra. Ima, thank you very much and God bless you. Definitely I'll come again for us to continue this discussion.
You are always welcome. This is